Good evening, Rescue enjoyers. Hope you're doing right, 'cause it's time for the abnormal barders. We have about an hour until the abnormal barders. And what we're chasing today, we have the Sinotype Sulfur large box, the Cyberjacket, the Mercy M39, the Chameleon double barrel shotgun, the Ferro Raw AK-47, and the gold chains boots that have sold next to nothing. Well then, if you're a bit confused as well in regards to what's an abnormal skin, what's a regular skin, well, if you need help, consider looking in the description right now, and you'll see two videos are provided at the very top. The very top video is a 60-second short video which will quickly showcase to you that abnormal skins, they become marketable before the Rustor even rotates. You have a good 20 hours before the Rustor to get an early insight in regards to whether these skins actually have demand and whether they actually will likely retain their value. So what we do here is we'll figure out the prices for all the abnormal skins, and of course in about 1 hour's time, that's when all the skins are going to become marketable. We're going to race to put those barders down. And of course, I just mentioned it. We can see all the barders on the skins. We can see how high the price goes. And we could question, well, you know what? Maybe I want to go ahead and buy it from the Rust store. It's very helpful. Now, if you want to learn more in regards to how to identify an abnormal and to figure out what time they appear and whatnot, consider watching the second video in the description. It's about 20 minutes long, but it'll teach you everything in regards to abnormal skins. And so let's get started. Let's talk about, let's talk about all the skins. Question what prices we might want to offer for all of them. Question if they're going to be nice investments in the future. Sinotype Sulfur large box. It very likely will be the second lowest selling skin out of all the Sinotype skins. Because as you can see here, and I just refreshed just to be 100% sure, 31,500 subscribers. If I were to refer back to the Saturday 48-hour analysis, you'll see for yourself I was anticipating between 33 to 38,000. By tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if quite a lot more people jump onto the Sulfur. Now that people are aware it's the second lowest selling skin, I think some people will probably think, you know what, maybe that's reliable. And also, considering that we had the armor box the previous week, and that didn't sell that much, and we thought that was probably going to help it out, with it being the second lowest selling skin at that specific point, it actually went up in price quite nicely for a while. It was almost $4. Now, of course, more listings have appeared and the price has kind of gone down a bit. It's still comfortably in the positive, right? Sinotype Sulfur, as time goes on, because you're with the whole set here, honestly, I expect all of them to gradually go up in price ever so nice, okay? Some of these skins did over 40,000 subscribers. But all the more recent ones, they're starting to go down in price more and more and more, which is kind of surprising. But perhaps kids have gone back to education. Not as many people buying the skins. Of course, also, perhaps people already spent most of their wallet buying all the other ones beforehand, so... I should also point out we are expecting another skin, of course. This past weekend, we saw the Boom box, but of course, we're most likely going to see Charcoal next. Boom is a very nice purple-pink design. It's also explosive. On the top it says explosive, but on the side it says Boom. Either way, people are going to like that and appreciate that regardless. But, this steaming pile of charcoal, well, that's most likely going to appear tomorrow, and we are likely getting closer and closer to the end point. If I could just quickly point this out, tomorrow, or rather today for me, we have the last Rustor for September 2025, and then of course in October we have 5 Thursdays, 5 Rustors. But are we going to get 3 weeks of Halloween or 2 weeks of Halloween? Will the Sinotype collection roll over and continue in November? But you've also got to take this into consideration. For just 1 week, we didn't see a Sinotype skin, did we? That was the Complete the Sets Rustor. People panicked and prices dropped off. Okay? What happens when we go through Halloween? But then again, people probably thought, oh no, the collection stopped after about 8 skins, which was not like a full collection. Now that we've had a few more, I get the feeling it's not going to be as bad this time. But don't be surprised if all of these skins on average end up at around $3 during October time, okay? Perhaps it might go, even a little bit lower. But for now, things do look positive, and long term, I do see it working out quite nicely, okay? No need to panic, no need to worry. Cool, so I'm expecting probably at least 15 skins in total. Cool. Now feel free to comment below. What do you think needs to be added next? We still don't have a stone box. we don't have a wood box. Do we need one? Anyway, with that, I think I'm just going to do the usual $1.70 to $2.20 bar order. I have picked up quite a lot of my $2.20 bar orders over the course of like the past several weeks. I'm totally fine with that. I'm happy to pick these up for 30 cents cheaper, knowing that as time goes on, they will gradually go up in price. More specifically, as we reach January 2026, I have no doubt that you'll see these rise in price ever so nice, because we do expect a ton of people to be playing in that first week of January time. Cool. All right then. So you can offer a little bit higher if you want to. You can offer a little bit lower if you're worried about it. You're more than welcome, okay? But this is most likely going to be the second lowest selling skin for the foreseeable future until probably the next one. We'll see. Let's now move on and talk about the Cyberjacket. So this did a respectable 13,700 subscribers. Not a ridiculous amount of sales. But if I were to compare to the recent jackets, I do have to bring this up. They are not doing very nicely. Also, we do have this Twitch drop jacket out at the moment. It's more like a robe. But yeah, down 71, down 65, down 46, down 26, down 20, down 46. However, during the summer, some of these were doing quite nice. For a very long time, this was just basically evens. This was getting very close to matching up to its Rust price again after being real bad for a while. But of course, we're struggling a little bit because we're going through the autumn fall seasonal dip. It's a routine thing that happens every single year. Prices are dropping off at the moment. Most likely, they'll reach their lowest point at some point in October time. So don't panic. Don't worry too much. But for this right here, I have to remind you, Cyber Collection wasn't that in demand before we saw this. We did see some of the prices of these skins rise up quite nicely with the arrival of it. But what comes out after this to help this out? Nothing. I don't expect anything to help that out. So I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I might just do like a 60 cent to 80 cent bar on that because I just don't really trust it. Sorry to sound mean, but I don't have the strongest of confidence. No Mercy M39. The M39 is the focused item of the month for September, and of course for tomorrow's Rust store, I do expect another one to be accepted. But this is part of the No Mercy collection, selling at $3. It's only done just over 11,000 subscribers. No Mercy collection is very large. The biggest collection we have in all of Rust. Plenty of skins accepted, but... oh! Thank you for the random pop-up. Anyway, it didn't sell that much. Most likely due to the price. I'm under the impression that maybe this could actually work out quite nicely. Perhaps a lot of people would treat it like a nice white M39. But I should point out, maybe tomorrow we could see... maybe tomorrow we could see another white M39, that is the Comics M39. If that's accepted tomorrow, that means in the past 4 weeks, we'll have seen Arctic Skull, No Mercy, and then of course this potentially. But there's there is a lot more other M39s that are submitted. So if I could just quickly remind you of all of them. We've got the Zebra, got a good old one, you've got JPEG, and you've got plenty of other interesting designs that are submitted the previous week. I should remind you, the No Mercy M39 actually waited a month to be accepted. So, okay, cool. So, hopping back over to here. I kind of still worry about it. Looking at the recent M39 skins, down 59, down 37, it's not looking pretty. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do between 70 cents to $1. I don't trust it that much. The most likely answer in regards to why all the prices have dropped off is because we've suddenly got a lot more M39s and we are still expecting even more. So for something that used to be very rare, as you can see, we've had hardly any acceptances over the past several years. Suddenly we get quite a lot of them. So yeah, kind of makes sense. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with 70 cents to $1. Yeah. Chameleon double barrel shotgun. It's a nice, shiny, cool looking design. But then you look at all the double barrel shotgun skins and you're like, oh, yeah. I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to do 70 cents to $1 for this as well. Because I just don't trust it. Sold a reasonable amount. Chameleon collection's got quite a lot of skins accepted. It's a proper collection, as you can see. But it's a double barrel shotgun. I just don't trust them. In the past, I thought maybe this double barrel shotgun will do quite alright, or maybe that one, but no, look, bleh. Last year we had some pretty interesting designs, such as Thunder Gold, and of course the Dragon Rage design, even double barrel Baguette. Down 44, down 37, down 38. They are not appreciated, even though they're part of some notable collections. Yeah, the Blackout one's doing alright, but it's like only Blackout, really. That only worked out because it sold next to nothing, and you are a banana. So, yeah, don't trust it, I'm sorry to say. With the Ferro Raw AK-47, 60 cents to 80 cents. Right now we have 2 Twitch drops. They are very nice, very interesting, and they will take the attention away from this. It will get lost in the shuffle, it will be forgotten, and it will go down in price. And I'm not happy to say that, of course, but it's just bad timing. It's just bad timing for that. In fact, we literally said the same thing last week, didn't we? How's that PTNT AK-47 currently doing? Didn't even look at it. There you go. That sold for $2.49. Now it's selling for 92 cents. Do not be surprised if the exact same thing happens to this as well. Okay, cool. And now lastly, with the abnormal skins, we have the Gold Chains boots. I'm not surprised to see that this isn't holding up very nicely because, of course, the collection's very odd. Loads of attempts have happened for Tier 2, hoodie and pants, and of course Tier 3. None of them been accepted. Face Punch just doesn't seem to like them. But for some reason, let's go accept a poncho, and then some leather gloves, then some roadside gloves, and then a backpack, and then some tools. And now the boots. If we never see hoodie and pants, Tier 2, of course Tier 3, I don't think these boots are going to have a fun time. So I'm not surprised to see that there's not that many people buying it because there's no collection there. Independently or by itself, I mean, they're fine, but it's not enough, really. Now, you could probably pair this up with the Tiger collection in regards to the Tier 3 and the hoodie and pants we saw being accepted earlier this year. Yeah, the boots and gloves from this could actually pair up quite nicely with that, true. But I don't really trust it. Maybe due to a sheer lack of sales, as time goes on, it might work out, purely based on the fact that there's just not that many of them. AKA, you can't expect like a ton of them to be like dumped on the Steam market. But, thinking about it, questioning it, I think I might just do 70 cents to $1. I'm going to go halfway. We'll see what happens next, but you never know. Maybe we randomly do see the Tier 2, the Tier 3, or the hoodie and pants being accepted at some point in the future. I'll have a very fun time. So, still at the end of the day, I don't fully trust it. So, okay. Cool. Let's now talk about all the regular skins. Small Diesel box. We have a collection brewing. So, of course, you'll immediately notice, last week we had the fuel box. Oh, it's not refreshing. So, let's go over to here. But unfortunately, if I click on Skinlytics, I don't think it's going to notice it's a collection. Yeah, it doesn't notice. But we do have the other skin right there. Magwemp made the fuel box. He then made the diesel box. And you're going to sit there and say, well, what's next then? It was supposed to be a cards box, but he didn't have the time. He wanted to put more time into making a very nice looking design. So what we got instead was a meds box. It's still a collection continuation. We still have a brand new small box collection slowly building itself up. Will that be accepted tomorrow? Because if it is, oh my, that small box very likely will be working out quite alright. So with the small diesel box, I thought it was going to do between 22 to 25,000 subscribers. Let's now hop back over to here. And as you'll notice, the box currently sits here with 22,869. Quick refresh just to be sure if we're definitely up to date. Sadly, everything's gone slow, but yeah, it is 22,900 almost. I'm not sure if we're going to see this rise up in price as much as we did with the fuel box from the previous week. When that appeared, the fuel box went all the way up to $7 at one point. But I would expect it to be in a very nice, comfortable spot. I would expect it to be appreciated. How far will this collection go as well? I was intending to make a video talking about the potential of that. But if we see the meds box being accepted, if we get the third box to be accepted, then I'll talk about this. We have seen other small box collections in the past, but they didn't really last very long. Last year, we got the supplementary neon storages, but it only went up to 5. And then we've got the base boxes here. So one's made out of high-quality metal, one's made out of sheet metal. You get the idea. But those only lasted up to about 4 skins in total. This collection that we see here may very well end at just 5. I was hoping for it all to be unique boxes that we've never seen before. Diesel was a lovely thing. Still, I yet to see a cards box. I know for a fact a lot of people want a cards box. But be a little bit careful here. If we do see the collection continuation tomorrow, the mids box, buddy, you could go all the way up to $1.49 if you want to. But if we don't, you might want to just stick with like an 80-cent to $1.10 barter. I do anticipate another collection continuation. If Face Punch aren't impressed with the Meds box, oops, wrong place. Over here, yep. If they're not impressed with the Meds box, maybe they'll just wait it out until we see the cards box. All right. So I'm still anticipating at least something to be accepted. And yes, you do have the wonderful benefit of being able to stack them on shelves. So, yeah, looking pretty good. So, okay, that's up to you. How you approach that with the information is up to you. But yeah, 80 cents to $1.10 might be the best approach. With the Dominus Mortis Thompson, well, Dominus Mortis collection is a weapon-only collection, as you can see, and they are not holding up very nicely, unfortunately. In regards to Thompsons in general, they used to be very reliable investments. Nowadays, not so much. So many of them in the red. So in regards to what I see here, and I'm questioning it, I'm thinking about it, I think for the price that I might offer for the Thompson, 18,400 subscribers, that is quite a lot. I think I'm going to offer 80 cents to $1.10. About halfway. Thompsons were a situation where it's like, rarely would they ever go below $1.50, but there has been some somewhat recent changes and just not as appreciated as much. And also, in regards to the skins being accepted, we do see quite a lot of them now, so yeah, 80 cents to $1.10, playing a little bit safe. In regards to the Oasis Furnace, sort of respectable 14,000. The Oasis collection is slowly building itself up. The other skins that has been accepted in the past have started to go up quite nicely. At one point, this was in a positive, now it's gone back down again. Oh dear. But in regards to like other furnaces that have been accepted so far this year, we haven't seen one staying in the positive. Last year we saw a couple, but that's a couple out of 22. Only two of them are currently in the positive. No, three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but still, 3 out of what? 22? My goodness. I worry for that. And I know for a fact before we saw this in the sheet metal double door in its collection, the previous 3 skins were not doing good. So I'm rolling with the expectation of this is going to probably drop off. I'm going to go with a 70 cent to 90 cent barter for that. Looking at the Brony road sign gloves, it's not too surprising to see this sold quite a lot more compared to the other skins. Let me remind you, Brony collection originally started back in 2018. 7 years later, ta-da, road sign gloves. Now, we were hoping to see whether if the skin creator was going to actually go ahead and make some tier 2, some tier 3, would have been nice, but no. He seems to be averse to the idea. He seems to be under the impression that he's not allowed. Not sure what's prompting that, but sure, fine. That's fine. I won't be surprised if this potentially has some issues with it selling more compared to its collection. But at the end of the day, it's still sold not that much. It still only has just over 9,000 subscribers. I was expecting that this was going to do between 8 to 10,000 subscribers. Well, I was expecting it, and I've been questioning this for a while now. I'm rolling with the expectation that this will probably still do quite alright. So initially, yeah, it might have a bit of a drop-off. You might get quite a lot of listings. A lot of people just be like straightforward thinking, it sold too much compared to the rest of the set. However, I do know for a fact that Brony collection has been appreciated over the past many, many years. And the very goofy, silly-looking road sign gloves, I'm sure they'll still slowly go up in price. To be honest with you, like if you were to look at these skins right here, the gloves more specifically is what I'm saying. If you just look at all of them, out of all the skins that I think will actually generally slowly work out, I do believe one of them will be the gloves. But it might be a bit of a slow process. Maybe Stabby will actually just say, nah, I'm going to do tier 2 or tier 3 for Brony regardless. That'd be nice, but I don't think it's happening. But I could still see the gloves working out quite alright. And then you look at all the road sign glove skins that have been accepted over the past couple of years. Some of the more recent ones are struggling a little bit. They've only just recently come out. We're currently going through a bit of a dip, not too surprising. But the majority of these skins are in the positive. As time went on, especially with most of these being part of collections that actually got finished, they have worked out lovely. So I wouldn't panic too much. I wouldn't be worried too much. In regards to the price you might want to offer, I think a solid 70 cents to 80 cents would be okay. And if you were to go ahead and buy some of them, I don't think it would be too bad. Personally, though, I think I will just stick with a barter. Personally. Alright then, so that's all the price suggestions. Shall we now talk about some interesting information that's happened, or rather, that we've found out about quite recently. So in regards to the Rust Kingdoms 3 event, Of course, I made a very nice video showcasing all the brand new Twitch drops. But I did mention that there's going to be 2 secret skins that will be revealed, and of course you can collect later on. One of them has been revealed. So if I could just quickly navigate back over to here. Yep, I accidentally showed this earlier. But we now have the Rust Kingdoms free rock. And you can watch either Moa, Slightly Poetic, or Pico, and you could get that skin for absolutely free. A very nice gold design. If you were to go to the main Hedge page, you'll see the video right over to here. It's about 3 minutes long. What I do is I compare this with the gold rock. Are you aware of the $160 gold rock? Well, I'll be brutally honest with you. I think this Twitch drop looks so much better compared to that. Also, do take into consideration the gold rock was accepted back in 2016. So consider giving that a good watch, and you'll see for yourself it's actually a pretty nice looking rock skin. A very nice free Twitch drop. So cool. So yeah, watch either of these free streamers, and you could get it for absolutely free. I'll link that tweet in the description. We are still anticipating the next secret drop, but over the course of the next couple of days, I do believe it will be revealed. But you do have to be aware that the skins do not appear, and I'll refresh just to be sure, the skins do not appear on the twitch.facemunch.com website, the secret skins, okay? So the more you know. Cool. Right then, so that's a nice thing to be aware of. But let's also talk about some very interesting developments. We are going to see the bed and the handmade LMG becoming skinnable. It's basically all but guaranteed. Like, quite literally, it's been guaranteed. It's assured. So we saw this a good couple of days ago. We were thrilled. We were happy. But more specifically, Alistair's quite literally said, yeah, they're coming. And plenty more is coming. For the foreseeable future, apparently every single month, a brand new item will become skinnable. Or more specifically, something that's been around for quite a long time will become skinnable. Like chainsaws, or savage axes, or wolf headdresses and whatnot. You get the idea. So for October, it's going to be beds. And next month, after that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the handmade LMG. What's going to be December? Don't know yet. We'll find out as time goes on. And if you're wondering, oh, hang on a minute. Does this mean some people have already started making bed skins? Yeah. Yeah. So the very first one was made by Mr. Shedmon. We have a collection continuation, The Phantom Bed. Now, I actually looked around a little bit earlier as well, because I was thinking, oh, did anybody else make something? So if you were to go to micro522.com, you'll find out we have a Halloween bed that's also been made. It's comfortable. Ow. So yeah, we're starting to see skin creators making bed skins and looking pretty cool. So let's just see. Only 2 so far, and at some point you will start seeing them being accepted. I will not be surprised in the slightest. With the October Force wipe, we very likely will see a bed skin being accepted. Which one will it be? And then of course we also have to be a little bit careful. Do you remember what happened with the first few backpack skins that were accepted? Large backpack skins. Well, they went down in price pretty quickly, didn't they? Because they sold an absolutely absurd amount of money. They sold an absolute absurd amount. Made a lot of money for Face Punch, but because so many of them got bought, there was far too many of them that existed, far too many of them on the Steam market and third-party sites, they crashed. So just be a little bit wary. But then again, if you bought one for yourself, it doesn't matter. You bought something for yourself because you wanted to treat yourself. So don't forget, the Halloween contest is going on until October 7. All Halloween skin submissions have to be out before then. And then, well, as we roll into October, we will find out, do we have 3 weeks of Halloween or 2 weeks? Some very nice, interesting skins are right there. Yes, yes, yes. But not all of them. It is slowly being, updated as time goes on. The link to this will also be in the description, so get a good look at that and keep an eye on this, because over the course of the next couple of weeks, you're going to probably see another 150 skins being submitted. I'm not joking. And probably a whole lot more beds. I'm not joking. So, okay, cool. That's a nice thing to be aware of. So just to repeat, as you can see right there, Alistair quite literally says, going forwards, we're aiming to release 1 new skinnable almost every month till we run out. They have about 100 items that could become skinnable. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they probably put some behind DLC. I did say this before. I would personally prefer it if they didn't make cars and vehicles skinnable. Only Face Punch should make that, because they can add extra mesh and whatnot. Basically, they can make a car actually look good rather than a skin creator trying to make the best of what they have with UV maps and whatnot. It's not perfect, but yeah, I think they can make some really cool looking designs themselves, and I think people probably would want that. I would absolutely love to see a race car bed, please. Are we gonna have to start like a campaign? Are we gonna have to start a campaign for a Rust themed race car bed? Because I know for a fact a lot of people would want it. I'm just saying. So yeah, keep an eye out. Plenty more bed skins for the future. Lovely stuff. So yeah, I think that's everything that I need to yap about. I should also point out, what could we expect with tomorrow? All right, what could we expect to see potentially being accepted tomorrow? So where's my collection? Well, all you got to do is go to the Rust Workshop, hover over, browse, click collections. You'll see it right there. I'm screaming for some reason. We saw some very interesting skins. Not that many this week, though. I think a lot more people, or rather skin creators, are focusing their Halloween drops. But we did see the small meds box, Sinotype explosive large box. We saw some very strange and goofy designs for sheet metal doors. Quite a lot of people really do happen to like this. Quite a lot of people see the funny side of this, but I'm not sure if that's going to be allowed. Looks like the DreamWorks logo. Scroll, scroll, scroll. We've got some interesting looking garage doors, some very odd yet interesting designs. We've got a pretty cool, interesting pair of sheet metal double doors here. You have the Eclipse Duality design, but it doesn't glow in the dark, but it still looks very nice. And then you have a cardboard sheet metal double door. I think people would actually like that. Scrolling on down, we have seen the return of the bismuth collection with a bismuth rock, and let me tell you, it's very shiny. Doesn't glow in the dark, but still very shiny. Does look very cool in game. We also happen to have a very transparent crossbow. We have a transparent Black Ops crossbow. I've uploaded a short video showcasing this and compared it with the Stinger crossbow. Most people prefer the Stinger crossbow, but still, this is part of a collection. Looks very nice and stylish. It's another option. Will it be accepted? We shall see. So that's cool. Also got some interesting submachine guns. I do like the antique Thompson. I think, like genuinely, I think a lot of people would love to see a proper weapon collection of this. That looks nice. So, okay, that's cool. Scroll on down. Yep, we got more M39s. This will very likely be the last week where we potentially see a M39 being accepted for a while. There's only one more September Rust door. For October, I can confirm miner hats will be the focused item. At the very least, I think we're going to see at least 2 or 3 of these being accepted. But the very first one to be submitted around this period of time is the Senor Tomato miner hat. And yes, the light fixture here, that's got sauce. It's got all the tomato sauce in there. Lovely. So that's cool. We've also seen some pretty interesting armor. Oh, what's this? What's this? Oh my. Do you reckon a lot of people would like to see the Night Demon Tier 2 potentially being accepted? I think a lot of people would. So, okay, that's looking pretty cool. And then over to here, a lovely batch of Tier 3 armor. I'm not sure if this is going to be allowed. Fun idea, very cool. I just don't think Kiss is going to be happy with that sort of face mask. So I don't think Face Punch will accept that one. And of course, we also happen to have the termite design. Part of this, potential insect sort of theme set. The eyes there with the design looks really cool. That's a very nice looking approach there. So yeah, plenty of interesting skins that could be accepted. Are we still going to see some extra, very random, extra late picks? Because we did see them with the current Rust door, didn't we? So is that going to continue? We just have to wait and see. So if you need a bit of a reminder, that took over a year to be accepted. The M39 took over a month to be accepted. And what else took quite a long time? The double barrel shotgun took over a year to be accepted. So yeah, very likely we'll still see some extra late picks. What would you like to see? What was something in the past that was never accepted that you'd like to see being accepted? Don't say the camouflage skins. Don't. You're not allowed to be happy. They won't allow it. All right. Let's now move on. Let's proceed with the barders. Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of time. So yeah, about 20 seconds to go. I've got everything reasonably all nice and set up. Do I have my price suggestions to the side? Yes, indeed I do. We always put them in my Discord. Right then, chat. Best of luck to you. Let's see if it works out nicely. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 seconds. Cool. Now we've got to wait like an extra 10 because, of course, people actually have to list it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. 335 barders ready. Lovely. That's one barter done. No Mercy M39. Nope. 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 All the other ones are slower. Right, what if I go to my other buy orders? So I believe I'm over here. No. I believe I'm over here now. That's it. Oh, did I do the first buy? Wait, where am I? Hedge, do you know where you are? No. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Right, so if I could just quickly look at the barters. I can actually do this right now. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Cool. So yeah, I'm trying out doing quantities of 30 because I have been quite a little bit too successful buying all the recent Sinotypes. All right, okay, gold chains boots. Nobody's really super interested in you. Did we actually suggest a price? 70 cents. All right, okay, then we'll give that a shot. I'll just request 25. Cyberjacket. Wasn't very keen with you. Yeah, I was quite vocal about that. Okay, for Raw, I don't have that much trust in you. Sorry to say. It wouldn't be surprising if you dropped off. Right, and then we had the Chameleon double barrel shotgun. Similar thing. And I'm noticing not that many buy orders being put down today. Seems people taking a bit of a step back and they're not that keen. Mercy M39, you're interesting. But the price, what was it? 70 cents to $1. Seems like people have already done that. Right. So I think that's basically everything. There you go, done. We did all the barters. Cool. Well, let's now skip ahead, look at all the abnormal barter support and question, do we actually want to go ahead and make a purchase? And we're back. It's been about an hour. So, shall we now go ahead, look at all the skins and question, do you actually want to jump in and make a purchase? So, let's just quickly switch over to here and ta-da. Right. Honestly, if you only care about the long term, every single Sinotype is going to be nice. But for this particular one, it's going to be the second lowest selling skin, for sure. Come on now. Is it still going to reach 33,000 by tomorrow? And is the next one that's going to be accepted? Could that still get less? And the next one after that? Is Firearms Large Box still going to be the lowest selling skin out of all of these by the end of the collection? What do you reckon? As I said, there's many different things that could potentially be causing that. People have run out of funds. They're not currently playing Rust as much. They've already bought too much of all the other skins. Probably. Maybe people just don't care enough about Sulfur. In previous collections, the Sulfur Large Box, whilst they have done pretty good to retain their value and gone up in a little bit in the positive, they don't exactly become the most expensive pieces out of the whole set. So, yeah. Regardless, again, at some point in the future, could that go up by $1 or $2? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. How long do you have to wait, though? Yeah. So that's for you to consider. Personally, I'm going to sit here and say I think I'm just going to stick with the barter. Last week when we had the armor box, had a very similar amount of sales to a point, just a couple thousand more. But I thought armor would be a box that a lot of people actually actively want to use. That was what I was assuming, so yeah. So in regards to this, what we have right here, okay. I wouldn't say no, but personally, I think this might still be one of the skins that will dip below its rust or price slightly. So a barter probably will be perfectly fine for you, but how successful will it be? I can't tell you. But if it were to happen, it'll probably happen about within the next month, as we go for October. How cheap could all the Sinotype skins potentially be once it actually looks like we've finished the collection? Are we going to see another situation like when we had to complete the sets rust store, where people panic for a bit? Or are people just going to be happy we finally finished the set and just let it sit there for a bit? Got to wait till good times, like the summer of next year, or of course another post-Christmas. We'll see. So, okay, cool. The barters are looking good, but this is basically like we have seen for all the other previous Sinotype skins. Lots of nice looking barters, comfortably going all the way up to above $2. It's fine. The worst performing one, the is it Ore Box or Tools Box? Both of them sold over 40,000, like close to 45,000 each. This right here doesn't even look like it's going to get about 2/3 of that. Well, almost. You get what I'm trying to say. There is considerably less of these compared to the others. I think it should be okay. but it still did 30,000 plus subscribers. It still likely has a lot of these in circulation potentially. So, cool. We got that. Let's now talk about the next skin. So, Cyberjacket, you are selling for what, $2? I still don't feel like this is going to work out perfectly fine. I'm not a fan of the collection. I don't want to sound mean, but I know for a fact that a lot of people just didn't really care for that beforehand. With this jacket now here, I don't think there's anything else that could come out to give that a boost. I said earlier about 70 cents to a dollar, didn't I? Oh, everybody did that. That definitely is not going to be retaining its value. That's definitely going to be dropping. It's going to be dropping. Will a decent grey jacket be appreciated in the future? Don't know, but I should bring this up. I never even mentioned the hardsuit jacket. Another metallic collection with a jacket skin. How's that currently doing as of today? It is down by 61%. Sold for $2, now it's 77 cents. It also did sell quite a lot, 28,000. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. But you, also at $2, I'm not gonna risk it. I don't think it's retaining its value. You're better off with a buy order. You could put down a $1 buy order. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you pick these up for $1 cheaper. In regards to the No Mercy M39, I always ask you, how often do you actually use an M39 in game? If you use it frequently, yeah, there's a whole lot more justification to use skins for it. But based on the fact that, well, we most likely 100% will be seeing another M39 skin tomorrow. All the previous focused items of the month, they got 4 skins each, didn't they? Are we actually going to see 4 minor hats next month, considering Halloween? Ooh. We also have Christmas in December, so I wonder what's going to be picked for that. Regardless, focusing this. I'm curious, but with the buy orders, it doesn't look like it's going to be retaining that $3 price. No. You most likely could just put down a $1.50 buy order. You could pick these up for half their price and save $1.50 each. But will it slowly get more appreciation? Will it slowly get more buy orders? It's definitely something to keep an eye on. But we are still anticipating at least one more M39. If it's the comics M39, I worry for this. Oh, yes. So, alright, cool, understood. I think you are better off with just a buy order. Over to here, we have the gold chains boots. It has sold next to nothing. I think with scarcity, it actually might work out quite alright. That, again, will take time. And if we ever do see some hoodie and pants, some tier 2 or some tier 3 for this collection, the gold chains collection, yeah, it very likely will be doing quite alright. So, if this is selling at, what, $1.49? Let's just quickly remind ourselves, back over to here. You are selling for $2. I don't think it's retaining its price. But again, scarcity. No, I still think you could just put down a $1 buy order, and I still think you'll be able to pick up some as time goes on. But I don't even really want to chase it that much. Sorry to say. So, yeah. Who knows? Will we actually see some gold chains, clothing armor being accepted in the future? Keep an eye on these boots then, because they have sold next to nothing. Ferro Raw AK-47, you sold an okay amount, but still, we've seen plenty of other AKs come out this year with a decent amount. They still dropped off very hard, and this very likely will follow suit as well. So, yeah, looking at the buy orders, and with the price it sold for, we had the PTNT AK-47 like a week or two ago. It's already gone down by about $1.50. That very likely will be following suit as well. So, yeah, sorry. And then, of course, double barrel shotgun. I don't think this would be as bad compared to the AK, but I still think it will drop off. Like, yeah, it's not retaining its value. How many of these will we see appear on the Steam market? Not sure. But in regards to the price, well, yeah, it's going to probably end up at around $1. So by all means, offer $1. I will not be surprised in the slightest if you pick up a bunch of them with $1. So yeah, honestly, it's looking like only the Sulfur, the Sinotype Sulfur is the thing to consider buying this week. So, okay, it is what it is. There's a bit of a quiet week. This right here and this right here are still looking very interesting though. If we do get the continuation, yes, that is appealing. I'm still somewhat convinced as time goes on, in the future, this will slowly go up in price and will be appreciated for its very silly goofiness. So, alright then. So, back over to micro522.com, we question what will actually be accepted. Sinotype explosive, not this week, but next week most likely. October Force White. Could we see the lighthouse sheet metal door? One of the small meds boxes? Could we potentially see an anime sheet metal door? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We also happen to have Bad Company. That was an interesting clothing set I saw, produced by Multi-Eye Hat Boros and Mr. Damned In. It's kind of like both desert and forest camo. It does look pretty interesting, doesn't it? Yes. But who knows what we're actually going to get accepted. I did mention, like a week ago, Temple Tier 3. Someone mentioned it earlier as well. If we see that being accepted, we could get a really good budget green camouflage set made. Temple was vaguely green, not fully, but vaguely, but it still worked out very nicely, so you never know. But keep an eye out because plenty more Halloween skin submissions are appearing. Oh yeah, Nuclear Monster Furnace. This looked cool. I showed this off in my preview video. A lot of people liked it. Let's see if that potentially gets accepted. And of course, don't forget, keep an eye on the commits. Plenty of interesting things being mentioned. Player count is down, but it's not too surprising. Will there be a lot of interested people wanting to turn up for October Force Wipe? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Prices are dropping off in general. But don't forget, as time goes on, January time, 2026, we should expect some very, very nice prices rising. Have you been keeping track of the Christmas skins? Oh, even they've kind of dipped a bit. So if you're thinking, oh, what might be a nice, interesting sort of investment to do? Christmas skins. A lot of people start buying them in November. A lot of them peak as we enter December. So that's for you to keep an eye out for. Yeah, that is everything that needs to be said. So once again, in regards to the final secret Twitch drop for Rust Kingdoms, right? Once it's actually been properly announced and once we know who's been assigned to have it as a drop, then I'll make the video, okay? So I will keep you informed. You should keep an eye on my Twitter over here. A lot of people start following me, as you'll notice here, yeah. I've been putting out a lot of mentions in regards to how to get the skin, where to go and whatnot. So, yeah, just look at my Twitter. It's linked in the description. You can take a look at that if you want. And that is a wrap. So, if you want to be aware of all the newer skins that have been submitted to the workshop as well, consider watching my Rust Workshop Skin Checks video for September 23, 2025. All the collection continuations are listed right over to there. And that's it. That's a wrap. So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to each and every single one of you. And yeah. Will it be an early Rust rotation tomorrow? I don't think so. Will we be happy with the Rust tomorrow? Never. Alright. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.